Welcome to Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go. This audio uses AI narration to present our original book analysis. Today we're diving into Stanislaw Lem's Solaris. Not your typical space adventure. This novel uses a mysterious sentient ocean on a distant planet to delve into the human psyche and explore profound questions about consciousness, reality, and the limits of understanding.
A brilliant premise. A research station orbiting Solaris, this planet with an ocean that shows signs of intelligence. The scientists are tasked with figuring out just what this alien mind is all about.
And from the excerpts, this isn't a calm scientific endeavor. Psychologist Kris Kelvin arrives at the station, finding it in disarray, his colleagues shaken, and one Jabarian dead under strange circumstances, leaving a cryptic note hinting at unsettling events. Even before encountering the heart of the mystery, Kelvin steps into an atmosphere of tension and unease.
Right from the start, Lem establishes a sense of psychological unease, almost a creeping dread. The station itself feels isolated, claustrophobic, a perfect setting for the unraveling of the human mind when confronted with the truly alien.
Then we're introduced to the visitors. Not hallucinations, but physical beings appearing to the researchers. These aren't just random aliens. They are exact replicas of people from the researchers' pasts. People tied to deep emotions, secrets, or regrets. Imagine waking up to find a person you thought was dead. Someone who carries the weight of your past, standing in your room.
It's a brilliant way to personalize the encounter with the unknown. It's not just about understanding an alien intelligence. It's about confronting your own personal demons, your buried memories and emotions.
And we're told these visitors possess unusual abilities. Rapid regeneration, for one. And they're tied to the ocean in some way, appearing as the researchers wake. It's almost like the ocean is reaching into their minds, pulling forth these figures from their subconscious.
This is where the novel's exploration of the human psyche really kicks in. Snow, one of the researchers, theorizes that the ocean is probing their minds, manifesting their desires and fears, almost as if the ocean is using these visitors as a way to study the humans, to understand their deepest vulnerabilities.
So instead of lasers and spaceships, Solaris uses psychological horror. The true alien element is the way the ocean interacts with the human mind, a form of contact we may not even recognize as communication. Is it intentional? Is it malicious? Is the ocean even aware of what it's doing to these people?
That's the central question, isn't it? What are the ocean's motives? Is it trying to communicate, as Sartorius, another researcher, believes? Or is it something else something beyond our comprehension? It's interesting that even within the station, you have contrasting viewpoints on the nature of what they're experiencing, mirroring the reader's struggle to grasp the ocean's nature.
And then there's Kelvin's visitor, Rhea. This is where things take an even more personal turn. Rhea is a manifestation of Kelvin's deceased wife, a woman who tragically committed suicide. Now he's forced to not only deal with his grief, but also confront his guilt and his complicated feelings towards her, all while trying to decipher the nature of this being who looks and acts like someone he loved and lost.
Kelvin's storyline is arguably the most emotionally charged. He's grappling with the very nature of memory, identity, and love. Is this Rhea truly his wife, or just a sophisticated mimicry created by the ocean? Can he allow himself to love her, knowing that she may be a product of the ocean's manipulation? And what does that say about his own feelings and memories?
Even with these intense personal dramas unfolding, the scientists don't give up on trying to understand the ocean itself. Kelvin delves into the history of Solaris research. We see that for decades, attempts to communicate, to categorize, to impose human logic onto the ocean have failed. It's a humbling reminder that the universe doesn't necessarily operate according to our rules, and our methods of scientific inquiry may be woefully inadequate when confronting the truly alien.
Exactly. Kelvin uncovers the work of Geese, a scientist who attempted to categorize the ocean's bizarre, constantly changing formations. Things like symmetriads and mimoids. These aren't just random occurrences. They suggest a complex structure, a logic behind the ocean's activity. But one so alien, it eludes human understanding. It's almost as if the ocean is speaking a language we simply don't possess the vocabulary for.
So we have these two parallel narratives. The scientists struggle to understand this alien intelligence, and their equally difficult struggle to deal with the psychological and emotional turmoil created by the visitors. But there's a point where these two narratives converge, leading to a desperate experiment. Tell us about that.
Well, desperate to elicit a response to establish some kind of meaningful contact, Sartorius proposes transmitting Kelvin's encephalogram into the ocean. It's a high-risk gamble with unknown consequences, but they're running out of options.
From the excerpts, it seems like this experiment coincides with a change in the ocean's behavior. But Before we delve into the results and what they mean for the characters and our understanding of Solaris, we'll take a pause here. Join us in the next part of this deep dive as we explore the fallout of this experiment, the tragic choices made, and the profound questions Solaris raises about the limits of human knowledge and the very nature of contact with the truly unknown.
Picking up where we left off, sending Kelvin's brainwaves into the ocean, a pivotal moment in the novel. It raises so many questions. Is it ethical to probe an intelligence we barely understand in such a way? What are the ramifications? It's a testament to Lem's skill that he forces us to consider these dilemmas alongside the characters.
The excerpts hint that the experiment has an effect, though not one anyone anticipated. And while the scientists grapple with this, the personal dramas continue to unfold. Snow, convinced that the visitors are a danger, takes a drastic step, and some might say morally questionable.
Snow's decision to try and destroy Rhea, using a device he secretly built, highlights the fear and desperation the visitors provoke. He believes he's acting for the greater good, protecting the station, and perhaps humanity. But his actions also underline the inherent human tendency to resort to violence or control when faced with the incomprehensible.
Tragic on multiple levels. We see Snow's own haunted past the trauma he carries, which fuels his actions. And for Kelvin to witness someone attempt to destroy a being, who for him represents a second chance at love, at redemption even, must be shattering.
It underscores that there's no easy solution, no simple answer to the dilemma the ocean presents. There's scientific curiosity, the desire to understand, but also primal fear, the instinct to protect oneself. And in the midst of all of this, we have these deeply personal, emotional experiences playing out, forcing us to question what truly makes us human, what defines our identity.
And Lem doesn't let us forget that Solaris itself remains an enigma. We get this fascinating description of the ocean, engaging in oncological autometamorphosis, a term that just rolls off the tongue.
It sounds complex, but essentially it means the ocean is in constant flux, transforming itself in ways that defy our understanding of physics and biology. It's not just an alien intelligence, it's an alien form of existence. Imagine an ocean where islands rise and fall in hours, where complex structures form and dissolve, where the very substance of the water changes. It's a visual representation of the ocean's alien, ever-shifting nature, and it further emphasizes the futility of trying to understand it through a human lens.
It's like trying to study a constantly morphing cloud, a shape-shifting creature that defies categorization. And yet there are patterns, hints of structure in the chaos. Those symmetriads, mimoids, they point towards some kind of an underlying logic, but a logic that's fundamentally alien to our way of thinking.
This is where the novel's philosophical depth comes in. Lem isn't just telling a story about contact with an alien intelligence. He's exploring the very limits of human perception and comprehension. He's asking, can we truly understand something that exists outside the framework of our own experience, our own language, our own biology?
And if we can't, what does that mean for our place in the universe? Does it mean we're forever trapped within our limited perspective, unable to grasp the true vastness and complexity of what lies beyond our world? It's a humbling, and for some perhaps, a terrifying thought.
It certainly challenges our anthropocentric view of the universe. Solaris doesn't necessarily care about us, about our attempts to understand it. It operates according to its own alien principles, indifferent to human desires or anxieties.
There's a point where Kelvin reflects on the possibility that the ocean is blind, that its interactions with the humans are unintentional, a byproduct of its own alien processes. It's a radical shift in perspective. What do you make of that?
It forces us to confront the possibility that we might not be the center of the universe, that our significance, even our existence, might be utterly inconsequential to something as vast and ancient as Solaris. It's a humbling, even destabilizing realization, and one that has profound implications for our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
So we have these attempts to understand Solaris, these scientific endeavors, and then we have the deeply personal, often traumatic experiences the researchers go through. And underlying all of this is the constant looming presence of the ocean itself, this alien entity that defies categorization, that seems to operate on a level beyond human comprehension. It's a potent mix.
And one that Lem uses to masterfully explore the human condition. What are our limits? What happens when we confront the truly unknown? How do we grapple with the psychological and emotional fallout of such an encounter? These are the questions that Solaris grapples with, and ones that resonate even more powerfully today. In a world increasingly dominated by technology, where our understanding of the universe is constantly evolving.
We've talked about Snow's actions, the desperation to control the unknown. But what about Kelvin? He chooses to stay on Solaris, even after everything he's witnessed. What drives that decision? Is it hope or something else entirely?
That's a question we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive, as we delve into the ending of Solaris, and the lingering questions it leaves us with, questions about the nature of consciousness, the possibilities and limitations of understanding, and the enduring human desire for connection, even in the face of the truly alien.
Kelvin's decision to stay on Solaris, a choice that seems almost paradoxical, given the trauma and uncertainty he's experienced, almost like he's choosing to embrace the very mystery that has tormented him and his colleagues.
That's the core of Kelvin's change. He realizes that trying to find definite answers, the need to categorize and control, that's what caused so much anguish. He accepts that really understanding Solaris might be impossible for humans. And in that acceptance, he finds peace.
Instead of trying to make Solaris fit into human knowledge, he chooses to adapt, to exist with this alien entity, even if it means uncertainty. A radical shift from the scientific approach for the earlier parts of the novel.
Exactly. Kelvin moves from wanting to explain Solaris to just wanting to experience it, to connect with it on some level, however elusive that connection might be. A move towards humility, towards acknowledging the limits of human understanding.
It ties back to the ocean being blind. If Solaris isn't acting intentionally, if its actions are just a side effect of its own alien processes, then maybe the only way to interact with it is to let go of control, to just be present.
A profound insight, one with implications beyond science fiction. It makes you think about how we approach the unknown in our own lives. Do we always try to define, categorize, and control, or can we be open to experiences that challenge our understanding, that defy easy explanation?
It challenges our comfort zones. But Kelvin's decision suggests there's beauty in it, even a sense of liberation in embracing the mystery, like saying, I don't need all the answers, to appreciate the wonder of what's in front of me.
That's what makes Solaris so powerful. It's not just science fiction. It's about the nature of consciousness, the limits of knowledge, and the human desire for connection, even facing something completely alien.
It stays with you after you finish reading, making you look at the world differently, even your own life.
And for listeners who are now intrigued by Solaris, what's your advice as they start this journey into Lem's world?
Be ready to be challenged. Solaris doesn't have easy answers. It makes you question your ideas about reality, about consciousness, about the nature of understanding. But it's a rewarding journey, one that will broaden your horizons and leave you thinking about big questions long after you've finished the book.
It reminds us that the universe is full of mysteries, and sometimes the most profound discoveries are about ourselves, about our capacity for wonder and humility.
If you're ready to dive into Solaris, there's a link to buy the book in the episode description. And if you like this deep dive, subscribe to our channel for more explorations of thought-provoking literature. Until next time, keep those minds nourished.